to the moon. Let me stay. Fly me to the moon. We play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Dee da 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 da, ba da da ba da da da, dee da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. Final check to make sure that my model is looking straight and I'm not hunched over in a weird way. Okay, I think everything is acceptable. So let's need to find the video I was going to react to today. Wait, where did? Oh no. Did I get rid of it? Okay, no, I did not. All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Generic Fool's Test. I am going to be reacting to a Guga video, or Guga Foods specifically, because there are several Guga channels, including, just the regular Guga, where it's, I think, him just talking about regular things going on in his life. There's Guga Foods, which is, I think, the larger channel. And then there's Sous Vide Everything, where he does various experiments which involve sous videing, which sous vide is a French term. And although I am technically a French citizen due to my mother, don't ask me what it means. It's basically you cook the meat slightly in a bag that is submerged underwater. I know, it sounds weird, right? Well, if you ever see what what happens after you sous vide something or a steak, if you just sous vide it, it looks grim, to say the least. However, the reason so many chefs swear by it is because by sous videing it, you manage to get it to the perfect interior doneness that you want. And then, after that, and it comes out, gray, you put it on a grill and you basically char it. Or, use a blowtorch or cook it on high heat just to form the grill marks, or, just a bark or something. Either way, it's people swear by sous vide. People who actually, go through the trouble of buying it, because the reason why more people don't do it, even if it supposedly produces a superior result, it takes a lot of time, it requires specialized equipment, and it is, a lot of hassle, and not everyone wants to go through all that. There are some people who who have more sensitive taste buds, and from them, having, a steak that's even a few dollars in price, difference between the two, can have a noticeable difference in taste. And for them, it's obviously worth it. Meanwhile, there's other people who can't tell the difference between, or, well, I don't mean that not only can they not tell the difference, they don't care to tell the difference between like a McDonald's hamburger and a high-end steak. That sounds like I'm trying to insult them, but ultimately those people aren't spending potentially hundreds of dollars on steaks or on small pieces of meat. So when you think about it, who's really being the dumber person there? I mean, obviously the person with more disposable income. I mean, I really like good meat, or like steak, but I am no longer able to easily afford that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was never able to easily afford that. But I mean, before I did all the stupid things to injure myself, I did manage to make a decent living. And considering the fact that I didn't really spend a lot of money on hobbies, and I didn't tend to buy all the new video games when they came out. I usually waited until they went on sale. So even back when I actually made a decent amount of money, I actually was pinching pennies and trying to do a bunch of stuff and save. And then it really was after I hurt myself at work and also continued to overwork even after I hurt myself that I'm in the current situation where I am on financial aid and all the other stuff. A warning to future potential content creators, not that anyone would really watch this video. While being able to work harder to try to save up more money to buy what you want the best rig to start out with for, content creation, like buying a good desk, buying a decent computer, buying a good internet, buying a wired connection, because wired connections are more stable and are also, have slightly faster response times. The connection that I use is a wired connection for this PC. I mean, I technically have my old one because it still works and it's my backup in case this one fails. But don't work yourself to the point of injury. That sounds obvious, but I was stupid about it and I hurt myself and ended up needing surgery because of how much I overexerted myself. Though for me, it's also because of biologically having a mutation, which makes it so that I'm potentially more prone to getting nerve damage. I guess I'll just say it. The mutation I have is I technically have an extra muscle in each arm, which rather than doing cool things than like making me stronger or, making me look more buff. I mean, maybe it does if I'm in good shape, but what's medically more common is it causes me to be more prone to a certain kind of nerve damage, where basically the extra muscle will push my nerve underneath my elbow and the nerve will not come back out without surgical intervention. The lucky thing I can say is that it only happened in one arm and not two. Normally it occurs in both arms, so I'm lucky about. Either way, I'm stalling for time because I was hoping to wait for some of my other followers to come in, but you know, anyone watching this on YouTube is probably already left going like, oh, it's been 10 minutes and he's not even reacting to the damn video, you fool! Yes, I am a fool, but yeah. I would have considered playing a game, but I hurt my hand, and I don't know if, like, I can do work today, but like, it's like a lot of little cuts in certain parts of my finger where at work I basically don't need a ton of dexterity for what I need to do today, but for constantly moving my fingers around and playing a controller or playing a game, it would probably just hurt a lot more for that. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the reason why I'm not playing a game. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream after work today. I'm going to be seeing my father for lunch, and I don't know how long that will take, and I'll also not, you know, it'll depend on how I feel. Yesterday, I worked, despite not feeling great, I worked a little over an hour extra than what I normally do. I'm glad that I felt worse than normal, but not like to a crippling extent after that. However, I did not feel capable of streaming. I was supposed to do stuff like play Galarians this month, and then, you know, I've not done that at all. Also, I should have continued playing Space Marine, but my friend is busy, and I'm kind of getting tired. I'm sort of tired of trying to reach him every time, because I felt like we made a schedule, and then, you know, we both have social disorders, so, you know, rather than shitting on my friend who can't defend themselves, I'll just say, due to our own issues, we are not contacting the other. Not because we're angry, just because we're both busy. And also just, I could take more initiative. My friend's a good guy. I'm not gonna say anything about him, and I should be the one who, I guess, initiates. Although it's harder for him because he works during the weekdays, and I have my time off on certain weekdays, which, you know, makes it difficult. But either way, this is a video about Guga trying different steakhouses in America. The reason why I considered watching this video for a stream is because, well, I saw on the profile pic, in 1 second, I'm just going to okay, there we go. Yeah, I saw that on like the profile pic that it showed, or like, you know, the thumbnail for the image for the video showed that he was going to Fogo de Chao. Now, for those of you who don't know, Fogo de Chao is a chain of Brazilian steakhouses that are in the Americas and in a few other countries. And by the Americas, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a Brazilian steakhouse in that it came from Brazil. It's not like a chain that started, I don't think it started in America. I'm pretty sure it was a Latin American thing, or South American thing that, you know, went there. It's not a bad place. It's kind of pricey, of course, because it's all you can eat steak and meat. And I do recommend trying it. it's a fun experience. It's obviously not an everyday thing. It's more just like, hey, do you want to celebrate something? Come here. It's a place that looks, or at least the one that I go to. I go there at least once a year. On me and two other friends have birthdays in March, yeah. It's not like I'm telling you the exact day or anything, but essentially our birthdays overlap. And they occur within a week of each other. So basically, we'll just go there and celebrate the three of our birthdays. We'll usually bring one other friend. And it's funny because I always make the joke like, "Oh, hey, man. So it's everyone's birthday here except for you, so you're covering all of us, right?" Which my friend's just like, "Please no. Please no." But yeah, we also usually save up to get one of the expensive cuts at Fogo de Chao, which is like, it's really expensive, but it also, for me, it takes months to save up my share. But it's always really good. They bring out like a steak meant for 4 people on a salt block that's heated up. And the meat is cooked to, I guess, rare or medium rare and sliced thin while on the salt block. Now, while there are some people who like their meat more done, the salt block is heated. So if you want the meat done longer, you just turn it and put it on a different part of the salt block, and it will cook the meat for you. It's really good, and I really enjoy it. And now I get to see if Guga's going to tell me it's shit. Well, to be fair, it's a chain, and whenever there's a chain, it's, And also, there's other restaurants covered in this video. But chains can be good and bad. Like, there are some McDonald's which are really good, and then there are some which are horrible. Be aware if you are a non-American coming to the United States. Our fast food in your country is probably much better than what you can get in our country. The only difference might be the, free refills and stuff like that. Because fast food companies really did not care and basically just decided to say screw you to the local chains that they supported and spend most of their money on trying to get other countries to accept, our American chains. Which is why in some countries Pizza Hut is considered to be a nicer place to go. Which, if you say that to an American, they'll laugh because Pizza Hut is sort of like a cheap, crummy brand here. But, it's just sort of funny. But either way, it's been almost 20 minutes and I've not even started the video. God damn it. This is a new record in me not being, able to focus on the task. Either way, I feel bad because I immediately looked here and saw lube. Well, I'm stalling to wait for more potential viewers of mine, but this is going to kill the algorithm for me. Okay. I'm just going to check out it's a short, so I'll check it out just to look at it. I forgot to unmute.
Lube. No soldier can go without it. Lubrication is so important to the operation of firearms that the US military has often built oil applicators into the designs of weapons so troops can keep their guns lubed up and ready to go at all times. Back in the early 20th century, the M1903 Springfield was designed with a slot in the buttstock where you could store an oiler and cleaning kit. The Thompsons used in World War II had a similar design, and the M1 Garand had 2 slots in the back, so you could store your oiler and cleaning kit, and in the other slot, grease and a combination tool. The M1 Carbine took a slightly different approach. It has a small oil applicator that fits into a cutout in the stock and is held in place by the weapon's sling. The M3 grease gun has a slot right on the side of the weapon to hold the oiler. That's a unique one. Even later weapons like the M16 had space in the stock where you could store a cleaning kit and lube. I guess if you don't want troops to lose something, building it into the weapon is a pretty good idea. Lube.
Don't get me wrong, people can still lose it.
This video sponsored.
Maybe after the Guga video, I'll do the Future Canoe one. But I shall see. Okay. Let's go. After 21 minutes, I'm finally getting to the actual damn video. I apologize.
On today's video, I am rating more American steakhouses. Here are all the restaurants I've already been to and they're
Oh man, Outback. Oh yeah, I saw the Outback one. That was not good. Oh, I thought it said Fogo de Chao. Yeah, they appear to do Fogo de Chao. Or, no, that's a different one. Sorry, let's see. Oop, nope. Ah, professionalism and competence. I am showing it in spades.
ratings. So far, Longhorn is in the lead, but on today.
Also, just as a side note, I think I need somebody to literally be on the side of my stream to shake keys. Hey! Get on task. ADHD and to make so that everyone knows I am on my meds. So I should be paying attention. I'm just really bad at it. Also, I realized I forgot to turn off a bunch of the alarms. So I guess I'll just do that. I'll play the preamble while I do
Today's
that.
video, we have Brazilian steakhouses, my expertise. You're gonna get to learn everything I know about steaks. Now, when you say Brazilian steakhouse, 2 comes to mind, Fogo de Chão and Texas de Brazil. However, they are both exactly the same, serving you a lot of different cuts of meats on a huge sword. And let's not forget, it's all you can eat. But I'm not stopping there, as right after I'll be taking you to the most traditional Brazilian restaurant ever. That way you can really experience how we Brazilians love to eat. So enough talking, and let's find out if any of them can dethrone Longhorn, because I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. Let's go.
And we have arrived here in Texas de Brazil, everybody. Now let me explain to you guys how it works.
Also, for those who don't know, which should be obvious, Texas really cares. Actually, I'm not sure where he is. I know, actually, I don't even know Texas Longhorn Steak. This Texas Steakhouse is actually from Texas. There's a number of places which are like, oh, it's from this state here, and it's like it's not. It has nothing to do with that. The best example of a restaurant in America which claims to be from a certain country or place when it has nothing to do with it is Outback Steakhouse, which is just like faking an Australian accent the entire time, going, shrimp on the barbie. So I apologize to any Australians who've had Americans go, shrimp on the barbie, let's put a shrimp on the barbie. It's probably Outback. And also all the really dumb ads that we get trying to show Australian. That's our only exposure. I apologize.
This is literally all you can eat kind of meat. First of all, they give you this. This means stops and don't give me any meat. This means give me a lot of meat. So you place it on your table like this, it's a sign for the waiters to know if it's a go or if it's a no-go. This is not a traditional steakhouse. Like Longhorn, they just serve you the steak. Here they go around and around with several different skewers to give you different types of meats. To be specific, 15 different variations. And we're gonna start off with the Brazilian classic, everybody, which is called Guaraná. That is the Brazilian national drink right there, everybody. It is a sweet drink, undescribable if you never had it. Slightly sweet, very unique flavor, and something I grew up eating. It's delicious.
What are you drinking?
But check this out. This is pão de queijo.
Guga as a kid chomping on a can.
I've made it in the channel before because it is a staple in Brazil. Pão de queijo translates to cheese bread, and it is gooey, cheesy, and delicious. This cheese bread is what I grew up eating, and
Oh man.
this is the bread that they should be serving in every single steakhouse. On Longhorn, they gave me a wheat bread, which was okay. Texas Roadhouse have a very good one too, and I'm sure if you ever been there, you know what I'm talking about, especially with their cinnamon butter. The other steakhouses, you need butter. This one, you need no butter. You just need that. It's just perfect. But now I'm gonna keep this red and we're gonna check out the salad bar. Let's go. Here they have, some nice scallop potatoes or potato gratin, mushrooms, jasmine rice, necessary, and obviously a lot of salads. Let's grab a plate and let's serve up. Always get 2 plates. I'll explain later. So obviously over there they have several different options, everybody, but this is what I chose to go with. So we got farofa, which is basically a cassava flour from Brazil, white jasmine rice, potato salad, mozzarella. Now this is something I love from Brazil. It's kind of like, it's onions with vinegar and lemon, delicious. And obviously to keep it healthy, I went with some tabbouleh salad. In order to spot a true Brazilian, is the only people that will have 2 plates, everybody. And we like to separate, at least me, the meat from the actual salads. Now here's where they get you. They make sure to give you a lot of different salad options so that you don't eat a lot of meat. Remember, meat is more expensive, but if you want to do it right, eat more meat than the salads, okay? Let me tell you guys another Brazilian hack. You see all of these things that they serve you right in the beginning? They want to get you full of this stuff so that you don't eat a lot of meat. You don't want to get full on French fries. You can go to McDonald's for this. Yeah, they're just trying to get you full, everybody. Now I'll turn this from red.
I mean, are the French fries at least good? I haven't been to this one that he's going to, but at Fogo de Chao they have a very similar setup, and they have the market table, which, from what I saw, or at least the one near me, or well, the one I go to with my friends. Well, it's not really near me, but the one that I go to with my friends for our birthday, we have it has what looks like a slightly larger market table, like more of like a salad bar area, where they put a bit more stuff. If you want to not get the all-you-can-eat steak and meat, you can get the market table, which is basically as much as you want from the salad bar, and that's really actually a good deal. And the fruit there is really fresh and nice. Now, if you do that, if you just get the market table, you're getting a pretty cheap lunch or dinner, all things considered. But, you know, for me, the meat is where it's at, and that's, so I don't usually go there. So if I just went there for the market table, I'd feel like I'd be wasting my time. I mean, even if the market table is really good. But also, I wonder if he's going to mention what the farofa does, what the farofa is for. I was not explained what farofa is and how you're supposed to eat it when I first got it. So I just tried eating it on its own, and I was just like, this is more of a texture than a taste. Which later on I found it did the equivalent of eating ketchup. Because the point of the farofa is you or at least what I was told, he'll see in the video if it's true. You basically put it on a side and then you dip your meat, or dip the meat. Yes, laugh at me. Oh, well, that doesn't seem very appropriate to dip your meat into it. I'm sorry. You take the steak and chicken and other stuff and you put it into the farofa so it sticks to it. And then when you eat it, it adds a slight crunch to the meat, which is sort of nice and pleasant.
red to green, and let the meat marathon begin. Let's go. Oh, wow, that looks fantastic. Thank you. Churrasco? Yeah, sure. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. This is churrasco, everybody. You see how it's
Flank
nicely
steak
cooked?
also.
So here's the deal. So the idea is he will carve little by little a bunch of meats for you, and they're gonna bring quite a...
Also, he will continue cutting until you tell him to stop. Or at least at Fogo de Chao. So you could, if you were a big enough of a glutton, you could basically get them to put the whole thing onto your plate. I wouldn't recommend it because there's so much there to try. But the fact of the matter is that you can do it.
Feel. What you really want to ask for is to slice it nice and thin. You will have a better experience. If it's too thick, it's not going to be as good. In case you're wondering what these guys are walking around with, it skewers.
Well, the other reason why it's better when it's thin, is because now different people have different preferences for doneness. So the meat they bring around is made so that it has different levels of doneness on the same cut of meat, which makes it so that if you want well done, they'll cut a bit off from the part of it that's well done. If you want it more rare or medium rare, they'll cut it off more from, the less cooked part of it. That's why if you just get a big lump of it dropped on you, or take big slices of it, you'll get inconsistently cooked meat. But if you get it thinly sliced like it's supposed to be, then you get like the perfect experience of it. But either way, let's continue.
Of flame meats, all cooked on charcoal, not on a gas grill. But let's try the lamb. Let's see how the lamb goes. Again, this is not a Brazilian thing. It's definitely non-medium rare, and for lamb, it's actually okay. But the lamb, no barbecue ribs, thank you. Wow, lamb is not a Brazilian thing, everybody. So if you enjoy lamb, it might not be the right place to come here, because there's one thing that we are very good at, and that would be picanha. And look what just arrived. Here's the deal with this one. You want to get a nice thin slice. The thinner the better. The queen of meats, baby. Cheers.
No.
Damn. The lamb, total This is delicious, okay? And again,
Because the lamb at Fogo de Chao, or at least the one where I go, it's not bad. I don't know, maybe it turns out I have shit taste. I got COVID. Not really a really bad case where I needed to be hospitalized, but I mean, I've had COVID several times now, but the first time I got it was not great, but not horrible, all things considered. I'm not like that guy who needed a lung transplant or needed to go to the hospital. But, they do a lot of cuts, and it's nice. It seems like this place is slightly different in certain areas. I mean, it's better if the meat is all cooked, like, to medium, I guess, if for, like, more uniform, but I sort of prefer being able to get, like, different levels of doneness at Fogo de Chao. Well, I'll see. I mean, I won't see. This place is nowhere near where I live, I think.
as thin as possible. Let's get some more meats, because that's the key here. Thank you so much. Beef and pork sausage.
Oh my.
All done.
Watch her eat that sausage. Oh.
Money. Tri-tip. Okay. It looks...
Let me know that Guga loves the sausage. I apologize, Guga. That was a dirty joke. It was a stupid joke. You're a really cool guy.
Fantastic. Medium rare? Medium rare, yeah. Here's a tri-tip. Nice crust on one side, slightly medium rare on the other side. It's good, but here's the deal. You should try other meats. You should only come here for picanha, but this does not compare. Picanha is so much more superior.
1 second. I just need to check something. None of my followers are responding to my messages. Though to be fair, well, no, they're in different countries. One of them it's late. For the other one, I don't know, they're in the UK, so I think it's a 5-hour difference. So for them, it's about 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Oh well.
So now I got some pork loin. Take a look at it, everybody. You should definitely
Was it
try
4 or
it. Not
5
the best
hours?
cut of meat, but it seems like it has a nice little crust right there with a generous amount of seasoning and garlic.
Garlic pork loin.
Very flavorful, not dry at all, very tasty. It's good. Oh, but the next one that they serve me is called picaya com alho, also known as picaya and garlic. Here's the problem with this one. People might not know is this. We Brazilian use the best part of the picaya on the large skewer that you saw me serving before. The worst parts and everything else that is left, the little pieces, the little trimmings, we put garlic on it and people love it. But this is literally the worst part of the picaya. It's just a discarded meat, but we put garlic to serve it and get people full. And did you know that you can actually order what you want to eat instead of just having them come around? Order what you want, everybody. Pro tip, stay away from the chicken. Chicken and bacon, yes. This is chicken and we all know it tastes bad, and in order to make the chicken taste better, they put bacon on it, everybody. That's the only reason.
Hi, person.
I mean, the bacon make it slightly better, but
How are you? I waited and waited, and it took you so long to come. How could you do this to me, person? And after that terrible thing you said online last night, I can't believe you. Person, I'm obviously kidding. No. Yes, person, you should totally build your life to surround me, around me. That is the only thing to do. I am the toxic streamer, and you are the person I have gaslit into attending almost every one of my streams. How dare you not appear earlier? I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. I do appreciate you coming by. Still, you make it to almost every single stream I do. I think maybe you've missed one total stream, but that's damn, I've streamed a lot. I mean, I'm not streaming as often now, but I used to do a lot more often. And next year, when I get back into when the holiday season's over, I'm going to try to stream more often, since I should have more energy and not feel like I'm dead. I'll try to go back to what I did before, where I streamed almost every day. But yeah, person, we're reacting to different steakhouses in America. I thought he was going to cover Fogo de Chao because, one second if I can find it. Videos. You see here, it shows there on this is the image, the video I'm watching right now. It says Fogo de Chao, Brazilian steakhouse. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like he's going to Fogo de Chao. He's going to a different one. But he's basically this place and Fogo de Chao are completely the same. And from what I've seen, it looks like they're similar, but there are definite differences. Yeah, I did. But it's kind of saying Burger King and McDonald's, because they both sell burgers, which, kind of, but, well, no, they're not exactly, because Fogo de Chao, for whatever this restaurant is, it's like Texas de Brazil. No, Texas de Brazil is what this place is called, I think. But either way, I've fallen victim to the clickbait. No. Oh well.
Eat the beef. Don't come here to get full on chicken. Here you can see a perfect example why you would want.
So remember, don't eat the cock. The cock is not good. Sorry.
2 plates, everybody. Keep the juices over there. My salad stay nice and dry. It's the best way to do it. Believe me when I tell you. Have a plate just for the meat. But the garlic.
Also, remember, the sausage is good. You missed that part earlier.
Cayenne. Yeah, not the best cut, I'm telling you. The garlic on top masks all the flavor. Seriously. Chicken with Parmesan, everybody. A complete waste of your stomach. Don't eat this. I got it to show you. I'm gonna eat it.
I kind of agree with the Parmesan chicken at Fogo de Chao isn't great either. I feel like the chicken, that one is usually slightly overdone, or at least for me. I mean, the other cuts are much better, so.
Because I took it from the skewer. And by the way, what you get from the skewer, you gotta eat, okay? If not, you're gonna get in trouble. Cheers.
Well, yeah, this is all, keep in mind, everything he's doing is all you can eat. So, basically, he'll give you as much as you want. You just pay one price. I mean, unless you're getting drinks. And there are, or at least at Fogo de Chao, there are a few premium items which you pay for. But otherwise, it's just they'll keep bringing more and more stuff as long as you're able to eat. And, what the hell was I saying? It just flew out of my brain. Sorry about that. But yeah, yeah, I don't remember what I was going to go on to. So let's just ignore that and continue on.
Stay away from that. Not the best. Take this from a Brazilian guy. This is an authentic Brazilian experience. It's what we eat when we go out in Brazil. I mean, come on. This is going to be so much cheaper than Ruth Chris. More variation, better food for less price.
Oh, man, I gotta be honest with you. I am full, everybody. Now, here's the deal about this place. It is worth the money. The cheapest steakhouse so far. I mean, take a look at Texas Roadhouse. Look at Outback, Longhorn, and Ruth Chris. Let me remind you, that was for one person. And here it is for the churrascaria, and it is for 2 people. Much cheaper.
No.
On top of that, you get a tremendous amount of variation and an endless amount of meat. It's not...
Oh yeah, like this is definitely worth the price. And also the the market table has a lot of salad and other stuff, so if you don't want to just eat meat, just shoving meat in your mouth all day long, oh my god, how dreamy. But like if you don't want to do that, then the market table is like a good thing to eat between your meat fest. Between packing sausages, you can have that. Have your salad. But yeah, it is, somewhat pricey as a place to eat, but it's a whole lot less expensive than going to a dedicated steakhouse and ordering a really nice cut. It just sort of depends. Do you want to have a variety of pretty good meat for a fair price, or do you want to spend a lot of money on a really good steak? But yeah.
Not a place where you just go have dinner. It's an experience. Could it be better? Yes, it can. Take, for example, the lamb. That was terrible. And if you don't know any better, you're gonna order that picanha with garlic, which is unedible. Seriously. So for that reason...
I thought he said it wasn't bad. He's just like, this is a bad cut, but it's not bad here. And now it's like, it's inedible. And it's just like, okay.
It is not perfect, but so far, definitely worth your money. And for that reason, it is going to get an 8.2, the highest rating so far. But now, a restaurant that you've never heard before. It's called Samba Brasil.
No my.
Samba Brasil. Let's go.
You see, this is how you know it's authentic. These are Brazilian goodies. Here they have pão de queijo, coxinha, which I am going to be ordering, and pastel. If you are Brazilian, you know pastel. It's not an empanada. Don't say that to Brazilians. We'll get pissed off. But nevertheless, let's go inside and order some food. So this is a small restaurant here in Miami Beach. It's a place I like to come with my family. It's small, cozy, and exactly what you would expect. So a true Brazilian will come to a place like this before going to Texas de Brazil. And the reason being is that
also, he didn't say that if they had feijoada at Texas de Brazil. Feijoada is basically a sausage and bean stew. It's not bad. Fogo de Chao has it. But it's also, one of the things where it's just that they want you to get full on that stuff and rice, instead of spending a ton of time eating the meat.
Gizio is popular in Brazil, but it's not what we eat all the time. This is more authentic and what you would find it everywhere in Brazil. Most Americans think that Texas de Brazil is a true Brazilian steakhouse. I'm here to tell you that this is what we eat in Brazil often. And let's see which one is going to be better by the end of this video. So for appetizers, they have a few things that are very traditional in Brazil, including coxinha, linguiça cebolada, frango a passarinho, extremely popular, and of course, pão de queijo. But you already seen that. We're not ordering that again. Now for main course, I want you to see
I mean,
one
it would be
thing
good
here.
for a comparison.
They got a picanha platter, everybody, and that's what we're going with. We're going with the queen. But you'll see the biggest difference is how they're served. In Texas de Brazil, they slice it nice and thin. Here, they serve it like a steak, which the way I believe is the best. But enough talking, let's begin with our appetizers. Let's go. So this is coxinha, kind of like a croquette. It has a shredded chicken filling with a little bit of peppers, and the dough is made out of flour and chicken broth. It's a staple in Brazil, everybody. Oh my
Can't go
Lord.
wrong with fried.
Creamy. The chicken has a
things.
tremendous amount of flavor, and the crispiness of the edges here is just wonderful. The only problem with this is that I can eat 1,000 of these. Just like Oreos, you can't just eat one. Oh, but look, there's more appetizers. This
Also, I want to say, even though he's a big guy, he used to be bigger. He's lost a lot of weight, which is good. But yeah. And are those chips or are those plantain? For my American audiences, since person is here and is the only person here, I'm using UK terminology. But I think those, is that either yuca or is that like, well, either way, whatever.
is linguiça and mandioca. Basically, a Brazilian sausage that we like to stir fry it with onions. Yes, we eat the whole sausage like you saw previously, but this is much more popular because it's much easier
I'm a terminology trader. Oh no.
to do at home, everybody, and that's how we normally eat sausages. And when you combine it with fried yuca, it's like
it is yuca.
10 times better than French fries. If you've never had fried yuca, it's everything.
Oh, person, you are special. You're extra special. Super duper special. Sorry about that. Yes.
Thing a French fries has, but just better. It is crispy outside, and inside it's like.
Yes, I could tell when you first came into my stream. You just can't hide how special you are. Don't worry about it, person. It's just that everyone can see how special it is. That's why everyone keeps saying that. Sorry about that. Oop.
Mashed potatoes. It's delicious. Okay? Wow. Oh. This is frango a passarinho. Here in the United States, we have chicken wings all the time, which sometimes breaded and sometimes is not breaded. In Brazil, we use the entire chicken, not just the wings. And we cut it in small little chunks like this. And usually, we just put a little bit of lime on top, and it's crispy, lightly seasoned with salt, and nothing else. There's no other seasoning. So you can really feel the flavor of the chicken. There's a lot more meats than just the wings and the flat. I mean, look at the amount of meat this thing has. It is insane, everybody. It's crispy, juicy, tender. I can eat 100 of these. And look at the bone. You see that? Only a little piece of bone left. Our wings is not just flats or drums. We use the whole chicken. But hold on, we're not done yet. This is our version of the empanada, okay? But it's very different. Don't call it empanada. It's called pastel. Inside, we have different fillings. This one is filled up with cheese, a generous amount of cheese. Oh, man. Crispy, gooey. They're using mozzarella inside. I mean,
as you can tell, Brazilian food is meant to be low calorie and healthy. Dainty food, yes, indeed. Food you can eat while on a diet without having to worry. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Come
Oh man,
At least it's good. It's just heavy.
phenomenal. Let's see what this one has inside. Oh, as you can clearly see, a generous amount of.
Now, you see, well, some people think that looks good when people do it like that. For me, I'm just getting pissed. I'm like, you're spilling a quarter of the contents on the plate, man. Come on. Stop playing with the food. You're an adult, sir.
Ground beef in there, everybody. Beef will always be better than cheese. There's one more. This one is filled with chicken, everybody, and cheese itself. I mean, take a look at that. Oh, and probably one of the most popular ones. Frango com catupiry. Wow. Okay. I hate chicken, but chicken works so well with this one here, especially with the catupiry cheese.
I mean, he's also eating with his mouth open, but, you know, that's just me being a nitpicking person. Like, you know, chew with your mouth closed. Don't talk while eating. It's like, what am I? What am I? His mother?
Side, which is kind of like cream cheese, but slightly different. This one is my favorite. Oh, but the main course has arrived. And this is the queen of all meats. Now, they do it slightly different here. They don't use charcoal grill, which is fine. It's also a very small kitchen. And like I was saying before, they cut the steaks really thin because they're selling to you by the weight. And it's normally how restaurants would do it. But nevertheless, it looks fantastic. It's also served with rice, beans, and just like Texas de Brazil, some farofa.
Oh my God, cancel Guga. He has bad table manners. He offends my dainty sensibilities. Oh no. Oh no. Obviously, that was a joke. This whole thing is a joke. I don't think anyone, if I don't have enough followers to really do anything to him, because I mean, the man has almost 5 million subscribers. And that's only on this channel. He has several. But, you know, just clearly he knows what he's doing. But yeah.
Cassava flour, which is stir fried with seasoning, and it is just phenomenal. But nevertheless, let's give it a try. Let's cut this picanha open right now. It is nicely medium rare. They also did a great job rendering that fat and caramelizing that fat, which is what you want. It is hard to nail a steak like this when it's super thin. I say they did a pretty good, decent job. The thinner their steak is, the harder it is to get it medium rare. But they know how to cook a steak, man. Perfection. It literally melts in your mouth. Most importantly, no crazy seasoning, only salt and nothing else. And if I'm being honest, it's a lot better to eat picanha like this than with the skewers. This is the way you should eat it, everybody. Now, can it be better? Yes, of course, you can use charcoal, but on a restaurant setting, it's difficult. I understand. Salt Bae definitely needs to learn how to cook like this. This is a plate for two. Let me show you how we Brazilian plate something up. First, a nice, beautiful picanha. Then you plate it up with some rice, followed by some beans. Make sure to get that juice, a little bit of cassava flour, and vinaigrette on top. This is what I grew up eating, everybody. It's simple food, delicious, it hits home, it is easy to make, and if you've never had a picanha, it's something I highly, highly recommend you giving it a try. Because once you do, you will never have a ribeye again in your life.
In person, since you weren't around earlier, that stuff, that powder that he put onto the rice is like cassava, I think it's cassava. I forgot the farofa. Yeah, it's called farofa, but it's, I think, cassava. But either way, it's more of a texture than a taste, and the reason why it's there is that you basically dip the meat into it, or you could, I guess, put on the rice too, which, you know, he's doing, which is also probably fine. But from what I've been told, you basically dip meat into it, and it adds a crunchiness and an additional texture to the meat. But yeah.
It's Brazil on a plate.
literally. So that is an authentic Brazilian restaurant. Can it be better? Sure, of course it can. Was it delicious? You better believe it was. It can improve by having a charcoal grill. It's also a little bit on the pricey side. Other than that, the picanha was cooked perfectly. The appetizers are on a whole nother level. And I think all of my American friends will love to experience an authentic Brazilian restaurant. For that reason, Samba Brazil gets a 7.3. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which steakhouses we should go next. And most importantly, will any steakhouse in America get a 10 out of 10? Subscribe to find out. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
So, person, did any of those places, would you go to either of those two places if you could? I mean, you're in the UK. I don't think you're going to be flying to Miami, like, regularly. But, what do you think? I mean, person, do you like eating large amounts of meat, or do you like, you know, just, you know, don't do that? Because if it's just like, meanwhile, person's like, I'm a vegan. It doesn't matter. And on top of that, person, YouTube won't see this, and people won't see this on Twitch after a week. So, you know, you don't need to worry about the deep, dark thing. Oh, person, how could you say those things? Oh, no. Now, you see, the people on Twitch don't go like, what the hell's he saying? Person's not saying anything. But the people on YouTube will be like, oh, my God, this person named person is very controversial. They keep saying all these things, and the stream is reacting that way. Little do they know, I am full of shit! Obvious fake laugh, ha ha ha, fake laugh, ha ha ha, fake laugh. Alright, then my next question is, which of those two places do you think appeals more to you? I mean, one of them is cheaper and offers a lot more, while the other one is far more expensive. But the individual plates might be nicer. I mean, you came kind of like in the middle of the first one. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they haven't opened a Fogo de Chao in the UK. Like, it seems like well, I guess your meat's probably not. From what I've heard of UK beef and meat, you do have some fine, like the meat you have that you do, like, I mean, the domestic beef that you have is good for making things like a Sunday roast. I'm not insulting. Oh, no, I have no problem. Okay, I need to be careful with that statement. I was about to say. I should probably not say I have no problem with your meat, person, but, you know, that's sorry. But anyways, from what I've heard is it's better for certain things, like, you know, like making a Sunday roast. It's very good for that. And when I went to the UK, the Sunday roast I had was really nice. But a lot of the meat that you have domestically is apparently not as good for, you know, doing like American barbecue or certain other things. It's more suited for the more traditional things that you have in the UK, or the more traditional UK dishes. That's why a number of places import American meat. From what I've seen, basically, it go in terms of how quality of meat goes. It's basically the UK people are like, oh yeah, we've got good meat. The Americans come in and go, haha, excuse me? I'm sorry, but compared to our meat, yours is inferior. Then the Brazilians come in and go like, haha, the shit that you Americans eat is garbage. And then I don't know who goes on the hierarchy above that, but basically it's all of us calling each other's stuff shit. America has some really good meat, actually. The problem is that a lot of places just, you know, use the really cheap shit. it's kind of like, I mean, I've never had a sausage roll from Greg's, but I guess the equivalent is that a lot of the stuff that we have is like the equivalent of what I'd imagine a sausage roll from Greg's is, where it's like, you know, you wouldn't say a sausage roll from Greg's is the epitome of high cuisine. But, you know, it's pretty affordable, it's decent, and you have fond memories of eating it. But, you know, you wouldn't say that it's the epitome of British cuisine. You know, just like a lot of American food is sort of the equivalent of that, where it's just, you know, not necessarily the highest quality, but it's made to appeal to the ever common man and basically satisfy their hunger, or like snack, or like when they're mildly hungry. We do have really good food, it's just that some of it's too expensive, and in some places overcharge stuff. Try to silence you. What is this? A rant about Warhammer 40k and Space Marine 2. I don't know. The one problem I have with people complaining about Warhammer 40k is that oftentimes when I see people doing it, they're basically a tourist to the franchise, where they're basically just like, they step in, they go, why no female Space Marines? And it's just like, they don't understand what being a Space Marine is. And it's just kind of like, they have the Sisters of Battle, who are able to go toe-to-toe oftentimes with Space Marines. And if you've seen the Sisters of Battle, now, there is a difference between fan art drawn of the Sisters of Battle versus the actual Sisters of Battle official art. Because, you know, degenerates online. There's a female faction inside of Warhammer 40k. Of course we have to draw them with ultra beautiful, ultra pretty things with faces and features, and then, you know, draw them with exaggerated proportions. Meanwhile, if you actually look at the sisters and what they're supposed to look like according to lore, yeah, there's a few good-looking ones, but the majority of them are basically battle-crazed fanatics who are like scarred, big, burly, muscular women who, you know, just are all religious zealots. Yeah. I mean, to become a Space Marine basically means that you've essentially, not completely given up your humanity. You're basically a child that's been indoctrinated, pumped full of drugs, genetically altered, and all you experience is war. You spend every second you're not in war, you're preparing for war. Your job is to die. And on top of that, you also, you know, lose the ability to reproduce. Or at least in the traditional sense. Space Marine reproduction occurs when you put your gene seed into somebody else. I'm sorry. I said that for content. But well, no, technically. They extracted, gene seed was originally extracted from their daddy, but you know, their daddies are mostly being absent parents right now, so they've had to get their gene seeds from each other now. But yeah, no. There were originally 20 beings called Primarchs who each had a legion of Space Marines. Each legion took their genetic data from the Primarch, which gave them their little quirks and specialties. The Primarchs are mostly missing. There are 2 that have returned, and there are a bunch of them that are no longer mortal, and several of them are dead. So the only way to basically make new ones is to grow the gene seed by several methods. But either way, they don't really. Being a Space Marine is constant suffering and basically being, most of the time, essentially a machine that just kills. Sisters of Battle, while I said they're fanatics, they have nuance. They're human. They're considered human. And I don't know, what do you think is more impressive? Genetically engineered, like hyper steroid filled, basically adolescent war slave beating something, or just an unaugmented muscular woman killing a bunch of, as I mentioned, hyper indoctrinated, genetically engineered war slaves. But as I said, they don't try to look for that nuance. They just go why not female version of this? Because it doesn't need it. There are several female-only factions in the same, or sub-factions inside of the Imperium of Man, which do really good. The Sisters of Silence are another one. A bunch of bald women running around in golden armor, beating creatures from hell and demons with swords. And they're able to keep up with some of the peak of genetic engineering, which is the custodians. I'm sorry, and it's apparent, according to what I remember, the Sisters of Silence are not genetically altered. They are just basically, through regular training, they are able to create the pinnacle of, as I said, genetically altered, designed from birth super soldiers. In the Imperium of Man, the custodians are the ultimate warriors, who can beat anything that exists in real space. Anything that does not exist in real space, the Sisters of Silence have the ability to make it become a part of real space, and they can either kill it themselves or they can assist the custodians. They work together really well. And actually, the custodians do more long-range combat than the sisters do. They're both extremely small in numbers, though. Man, this is supposed to be a food stream. Why am I talking about 40K? But yeah, it's just kind of if you look at a lot of the stuff in the lore, a lot of the things which people are trying to say, it's funny because it's just it goes full hand in hand with what Slanesh is, which is the chaos god of excess. And people talk about, why aren't there more shades of gray inside of Warhammer 40K? You see, chaos thrives in shades of gray. Because they like to manipulate people. The fall to chaos is slow. It's often manipulative. Most people don't just go, I'm going to be a piece of shit today, ha ha ha, and join chaos. Most of the time, it is due to the slow and methodical machinations of the gods, the chaos gods, that get you to worship them. And oftentimes, people who worship them don't even realize that they're worshiping, or they're giving their powers to the chaos gods. They assume they're doing something else, or they think they're joining a social club or something like that in the case of Slanesh. But yeah. It's just sort of, okay, I'm supposed to be doing food. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I should do next, person. Do you think I should do? Do you want me to watch Future Canoe? It is a shame I don't have there isn't another person coming, because that means that I'm going to be. First half of this stream I had 1 viewer. Second half I only had 2. This is going to drag down the average view count I had. But on the other hand, I think that's because I did not do military stuff. Military stuff ends up getting me a lot more views, or well, technically gaming content gets me a lot more views, but I was just feeling tired, and I got a bunch of little tiny cuts on my hands, which makes it so that kind of hurts to move it. So should I do Future Canoe? Should I do? Well, is this in? Yeah, this is probably in the UK, and also that's Jolly. I'm trying to keep the videos separate. Oh no.
Whoa.
That's also Jolly. I'm going to go and look at stuff. Let's see.
On today's...
That's Italy.
I'm really eyeballing these rice rolls.
Alright, I guess I'll do this. I had started to watch it before, but I'll go back. Let's see. So, it's back to Joshua Whiteman. Because that's what his name literally means. Weissman, white man. One second. Just saving this for the sake of making it easier. For me to stop that. Okay, probably should have, you know. Just okay. I'm just putting this here, and then I'm going to put it onto Twitch. No, I don't need to put that there. Alright. Oh my, how exciting watching me do the next, like, Twitter thing. Or like, you know, just preparing to make a thing for Twitter. Alright. Or wait. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's see. Oops, wrong one. All right. So this will cover some. I've done it. I have finished. Now I'm going to continue. And once again, this is a great place to start. So Joshua Whiteman is going to be covering different Chinese food in America. Let's see. Also, this video I think is old. It's from a month ago. I've had it set up and waited to do content for it. Alright, but let's see.
Americans spend $60 billion a year on Chinese takeout. General Tso's orange chicken are common, but what if I told you that's not even the best stuff? Some of the greatest Chinese food in the world is being served in Chinatowns across America. Recipes and dishes that have existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So today we're on a mission to find the greatest Chinese food in America. And what better place to do it than America's largest Chinatown? We're here with Chef Maxi Lau, eating through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night meals. She's taking us to places that make Flushing one of the most influential Chinatowns in the world. And at the end, I'm gonna find my favorite bite. These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. This is a hit. And crown our champion. So we've made it to the heart of Flushing. Maxi, how are we gonna do this?
There's so many places to eat in Flushing. I think it's gonna take you about a week to get through all of them. But since you only have 24 hours here with us, I'm gonna take you to my favorite places that I grew up eating here and some of the new hotspots, even though I don't think you're gonna make it.
What do you mean make it? Like alive?
24 hours, dude, that's a ton of food. You know, yo, dude, you good? Hello, we're at our first spot, A. Jane, so we're gonna get some Teen Bang.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Teen Bang, they literally make
I don't know, I'd say if you're going to do a video like this, it'd be better to maybe stretch it over a few days, so that way you don't... Because if he's literally trying more than 3 places, think about it. If he tries to eat a full meal at every location that he's going to feel heavy. He's going to feel bloated, and by the end he's going, I don't want to eat anything else. Man, it sounds like he's not going to be able to give it a fair review. I mean, when you're really hungry, you'll think things taste better than they do. But anyways, let us continue.
crepe, and then they put eggs in it, and then you have the option of doing sausage and beef. So I chose beef because that's the one that I like the most. You can choose the option with the fried dough or do like the crispy wonton skin, but I chose the crispy wonton skin.
Oh my God.
A little lighter and crispier.
I love it. Okay, so this is ridiculous. I've literally never had anything like this in my life. Soft, yet crunchy, fatty, yet clean. It's a little spicy. It's not German oil. This is really good. Let me explain my rating system again.
Also, a lot of the more traditional Chinese foods like to have different balances of textures and flavors to it. That's why, you know, it is the way it is. Which is why some of the Chinese food, which you don't normally see in restaurants, is actually really good. It's just not the bland, like, stuff that's been pressed or, like, you know, changed to suit local palates. Like, there's orange chicken is not bad, but it's not as good as some of the other dishes. It's just that a lot of people are too afraid to try other options. Either way, let's continue.
I'm harsh on my rating. A 5 out of 10 is not bad, it's mid. A 1 out of 10 is bad. A 10 out of 10, which we've never given before and probably never will because I don't think perfection exists in this world, this is an 8 out of 10. And that is very high for my scale. A strong start, moving on.
Jinbang starting the day off strong. But next we have a very special place. Maxi's Aunt's Restaurant, Casita Cafe, which is known for some unexpected breakfast dishes.
This is like a more ta tan tang style. Ta tan tang means like kind of like a Hong Kong style diner. So this is called Combo A. This is my go-to.
I weirdly have the ability to describe... Oh, somebody came and then they left. I weirdly have the ability to actually explain a little bit about what a Hong Kong style diner is. Now, well, you know, I was barely around for when this was, but Hong Kong was originally a British colony that was being used, or like, you know, which China eventually got back. But in Hong Kong, there were a lot of places, there's a lot, you know, there's regular Chinese food, but a lot of times there were eateries that catered towards Westerners, or like rather the foreigners or the British. So essentially, most Chinese people couldn't afford to go into these places. And what ended up happening is some locals would try and replicate some of the dishes that appeared in those foreigner restaurants and use them with what ingredients they had. And the result is these Hong Kong diners, which have some ingredients which are not normally traditional to Chinese cooking, but it's sort of like a marriage between Western and Chinese cuisine. And there are some really interesting things on it. And Chinese people would go there, or Hong Kong people would go there, to get the feeling like they were eating, Western food, because at the time, Western cuisine wasn't really huge. That is sort of like a form of it which they could afford, and also give them the feeling that they were eating something exotic, which sort of sound as funny as it sounds, hearing like eating eggs and toast or eating macaroni, like in that form, as being exotic, especially to if you've grown up in a Western nation, or especially if you've grown up in America, is sort of weird. But there are a lot of things I've heard from people who've moved in from other Asian countries where, for them it's just like, oh, eating organ meats, eating like, fish heads, eating like, stuff like that. That's normal to them. But when it comes to eating like a hot dog or, mac and cheese or other stuff which is completely alien to them or wherever they came from, then, for them it's a daunting thing, because as I said, they are so used to eating or their food looking a certain way, and then they come here and it's just like, this is completely different to everything I'm used to. I mean, you don't hear that as often now, because America's bringing its food everywhere, and over the more recent years, more people are familiar with mac and cheese, hamburgers, and stuff like that. But like a few decades ago, they were not. No, anyway.
I never thought about starting my day with macaroni soup, but I'm going to moving forward. The sesame oil is amazing, super welcome. I think it perfumes the whole thing.
In Hong Kong McDonald's, this is a breakfast item. And then we have salted beef and egg sandwich.
That's ridiculous. So first of all, the eggs cooked absolutely perfectly. This is like the filet mignon of breakfast sandwiches. So good, it made me forget about the Hong Kong French toast. Wow, holy cheers.
I don't know. Saying it's something's a filet mignon of things depends on somebody's opinion of filet mignon. Some people find it really good, and then some people find it tasteless. A tasteless, overly expensive small piece of meat. I mean, it's good. It's really good, but I've had a lot of like mediocre ones. A lot is an exaggeration. I'm not like, oh, I have filet mignon once a week. Like, no, not like that. But yeah.
You know what? It's not overly heavy at all. That means I can eat the whole thing, right?
The fluffiness of the bread and then just like that thin layer of peanut butter.
You could eat this and I think you'd feel great. Maybe that's an overstatement. You can eat this and you'll be really happy.
Lots of great items, but now it's time for another judgment. Is this really gonna beat out an incredibly high rating from 8 Jane?
The corned beef sandwich, easily a 9 out of 10. This is the clear winner. You guys know I don't give 9s, and I'm not because Maxie is here. I am slightly afraid of her, but I'm willing to put my life on the line to at least be real, and I'm telling you, this is a 9 out of 10. If you live in New York City, you should be pulling up.
An immediate leader with a huge 9 right out the gate. But now it comes down to one of my favorite things ever, which honestly might ruin me for the rest of the day.
We are at Lake Pavilion right now. We're going to do some yum cha and dim sum.
I remember when I was a kid and I would walk in and I'd see them pushing the carts.
I love dim sum, but the one place I really like closed down, and all the other places that I've tried going to don't wheel the carts around, and also they're more expensive and not as good tasting, and their portion sizes are smaller. Well, to give you an idea, this place closed down, the place I'm talking about closed down like a decade ago. And as my father says, I still have not gotten over it. It's just really good. And the reason they closed down is because their landlord was a dick. He's just like, oh, well, you guys actually make a lot of money. Or you guys are doing pretty well. I think I'll raise your rates. At which point they're just like, you know what? No, we're quitting. We've had enough. We've been looking, like, we've been like waiting for any kind of excuse to quit. So they both like shut down. So they shut down the restaurant. You have to understand. This place did not accept reservations. It was first come, first served, and the wait could potentially go into hours, depending if it was a holiday or the weekend. The food there was really cheap. Like, I mean, I would, if I wanted to impress somebody while not having to actually spend a ton of money, I would basically go to this place, invite a few friends, we'd eat until, way too much, just way too much food. And then, when the bill came, I'd be like, no, guys, I got this. And, they're like, oh man, are you sure? This has got to be really expensive. Like, no, man, just make sure you cover me next time. And then, like, I take the bill, I pay it, and even after leaving, like, a very good tip, it's like I spent less than $50 for, like, 4 super hungry guys eating like crazy, and that was ridiculous. And as I said, that was after tip, and that, like, eating, like, what was it, like 20 or 30 plates? Yeah, and as I said, the reason why I can't get over that place is because, as I said, the food was really good. I have to stress that. It was the best dim sum I've had. My father went to Hong Kong and had some dim sum because he went there for work. And he said that while the restaurant that he went in, the restaurant itself looked nicer, he felt that the place he went to, the place that we used to go to was actually better in terms of taste. It looked a little nicer, and I think the portion sizes were a little bit bigger. So yeah, as I said, just like, it was better in basically every, in the Hong Kong one, the Hong Kong wasn't bad, but it was the one here was slightly better. But in terms of other dim sum places in the area, it was superior in every measurable metric. Almost every year I think it was open, it basically won the award for the best cheap eats in the area. And I remember because it went down all one side of one window and all one side of another window that they had. And it was basically like, as I said, just year after year. I definitely think that place deserved like a Michelin star. However, unfortunately, the Michelin Guide only does certain places in America. I think the 3 places that I know that they rate restaurants in is New York, California, or New York, Los Angeles, or I guess some other parts of California, and DC. I don't think there are many other places outside of those 3 where they'll actually rate any restaurants. At the least, I feel like that place would have been worth 2 stars. Because, in addition, it had other things going for it too. It was right next to a metro. Like, you could literally, go take the train, get off, walk. And also, you didn't need to sit in. You could order something to go, and then you could get like these really nice big pork buns that were like filled with like nice roast pork, and like some onions and other stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. This place, I feel like some of the items were more catered towards, I guess, Western palates, but they did also have the stuff that was clearly meant for, like, you know, the traditional Chinese. Like, they had dragon's feet, or rather, chicken feet. But either way, it's taking too long, and I'm getting depressed from remembering all that. Every time I went there, I'd usually, like, when I got back, I would lay down on the couch and pass out because of how much I ate. It's really nice when you get to completely eat your fill, and then and not have to worry about the financial ramifications of, you know, you eating like a pig. But yeah.
And there's just food everywhere, and people are running around, and you're like, yeah, I want that. And they literally sprint at light speed to you. It's like a whole experience.
I invited my friend because we're gonna be feasting.
Love it.
So my friend Jessica's meeting us in there.
All right, let's go.
As soon as we sat down, the madness began. Everywhere I looked, people pushing carts overflowing with steaming, fresh food.
Look at this, dude. Where should we begin? I don't even know. I'm really eyeballing these rice rolls. Kind of want to start there. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna go for my fave. Lo mai is the type of rice, and it's wrapped in this like lotus leaf.
So good. By God, the rice is cooked so nicely. Obviously, the flavor from the lotus leaf, it's like fragrant, almost like a tea. Really nice. Should we suck on some toes?
So it's just gonna slip off the bones.
Love it.
So it's about the technique of sucking the
Toes.
skin.
So flavor-wise, really nice. It's got umami, it's a little salty sweet. It's very balanced, it's not spicy.
I know this looks like it's kind of heavy, you know, we're eating chicken feet, but this is actually all breakfast. So want to try piggy? So I guess we'll split it.
This bun is amazing. I'm gonna say it's light, it's not. It's super heavy, but in a great way. I love it. Sesame ball. It's like chewy.
Well, yes. Indeed. Well, there's no meat on chicken feet. It's basically the outer layer of skin. That's like, you know, coating it. And you're basically eating that. So you're basically sucking that off the bone. I'm not a fan of that. Both, I guess, taste-wise and, well, as a victim of something like that, except not in my room, in a public place, I do not want to talk. I do not like that. Yes, person, I was in a public location, and then somebody took off my shoe and put my foot in their mouth. Under a table. Yes, that happened to me. It was, not pleasant. I had thought that somebody was saying something as a joke. Ha ha, oh man, he's going to a long length to this. And then I found out that no, in fact, this was not a joke. Now, you see, if I was a woman, then that would be considered sexual harassment, and that person probably would have, you know, gotten arrested. But you see, person, I am a man, and that means that I just have to deal with it. But yeah.
Crunchy, it's crispy. Last but not least, we have soup dumplings, one of my favorite bites of all time. Soup dumpling needs no introduction, it's perfect. The skin on the outside is like perfectly al dente, it's not overcooked. Inside's juicy, seasoned really nicely.
The dish just kept on coming and I kept on eating. But now it's time to stop and name our winner. But then a new contender caught my eye from the distance.
These are very unassuming. You might see these and go, oh, I might get it, I might not, and let it pass you up. We were about to do that. One of the best, bolo char siu bao. The softest, most delicate donut you've ever eaten in your entire life texturally, but it's savory, a crispy, crunchy top, salty barbecue pork on the inside. 9 out of 10, easily.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting my toes sucked on.
1 second, I will be right back. I feel like I got something in my eye. Oh boy. Oh no. It burns. God damn it, didn't click. Let me right back. Or mute. Did not mute. Oh no. None of that happened. Oh. Hi. Hello. I'm, yes. I don't know how to come back from that. Also, I guess. Sorry. You know, I drank water and all of a sudden, now I'm burping a bunch. That's dumb. But one of the other things, person, that I really miss from the other places, that while I have found things are slightly close to some of the other items that other place I used to go to had, I have not been able to find any pork buns that are even a fraction as good as the ones I used to get at that other restaurant. And as he said, a good Chinese pork bun is usually, which also I'm going to further elaborate, finding out the kind I'm talking about is difficult because there are several things which are translated to as buns. When I'm talking about the one that is actual, like, a dough bun with things inside of it. So, it is sort of like, it does have like the texture of like a really nice donut on the outside. And then it's got like, usually like a roast Chinese barbecue pork filling with seasonings and other stuff. I don't know all the stuff that goes inside of it. And there's the traditional one where it has a light glaze applied to it, and the glaze is usually made from honey, a mixture of honey, water, and some other seasonings, which makes it have just a light, pleasant sweetness to it. And then the pineapple one he has there, it has, as you see, like this crispy, slightly crunchy layer applied to the top of it, which I don't know if it actually has pineapple in it, or if it's just called that because of how it looks after they, finish the cooking process, which is like having the light. Usually has like, you could look at it at a glance and think slightly it looks like a pineapple skin, sort of. Though sometimes I do think they do actually use pineapple, but not always. But it's really nice and really pleasant and really tasty, especially when it's done well. And these are for the baked pork buns. The steamed pork buns are apparently more popular and traditional with Chinese people, but for me, it's 100% the baked ones that are better. It's just, for me, annoying because I found no equivalent and nothing that I can really like compare it to. Like all the other pork buns I found are just like these little tiny things that you could shove the entirety of it into your mouth, or one of them entirely into your mouth, and not have to worry about any problems. I mean, I wouldn't swallow it whole without chewing. That would be that then you'd have problems. But as long as you chew, you wouldn't have problems. But the ones from the other place were just like they were really big and really filling and really nice. But yeah, sorry. I used to go to that place for years, and I do it with my father, I do it with my friends, I'd introduce people to it. It was sort of like a place that it held a lot of good memories for me, and there was also the fact that it was really good and really cheap, and it looked really nice too, so in every metric it was really nice. I mean, the restaurant itself wasn't like high-end looking, but that's the only metric in which it falls. It doesn't look like a fancy restaurant, but it does not look like it's a piece of crap. It looks fine. but I didn't go there for the aesthetics. I went to, or at least, you know, the restaurant's aesthetics. The food looked really nice, and it was plated well.
Moving on.
Next up, another major contender, Joe's Steamed Rice Rolls, maybe the most famous in all of New York. I love these, but you rarely see them made from scratch like this.
In the morning, they grind up the rice to make the liquid. He does like 1 ladle of the mixture, then he adds the filling in there, pop it in the steamer, he takes it out, he rolls it up, cut it up, and this is what you got.
We have the rice rolls. They have barbecue pork in them. We just doused it in soy sauce. Oh my God. These are the best rice rolls I've ever had in my life. Way better than dim
It's a
sum.
lot thinner,
Thinner, more tender.
but this is like obviously the simplest version you can go. This is like my go-to.
The barbecue pork is just the right type of texture you're looking for to add to the experience. When you're eating this, it's so silky, so smooth, but you definitely want another texture in there. And the barbecue pork provides exactly what you're looking for, a little bit of chew. This is like a perfect bite. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.7. Moving on.
Breakfast is complete, but we've got a two-way tie between Casino Cafe with their salted egg and beef sandwich and the barbecue pork pineapple bun from Dim Sum, each with a massive 9. I mean, these are rare ratings. Are we gonna have our first 10 on the channel in this video? Onward to lunch.
Our next stop is actually at Maxi's place. Maxi told me that I'm not allowed to eat until I know how this works.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him work for it. So we're actually wrapping wontons today. And this filling is 90% shrimp, 10% pork. So get a little bit of the filling. Okay, now close it up.
How do you even move your hand like that?
And then now lift it up and then have your thumb hold the left side and then get your thumb underneath the wonton, pull the stick out, slightly roll it. Make it a little rounder and then that's a wonton.
Not quite as pretty as yours. It's pretty good, right? What do you think? It's a...
The story of how Maxi started her restaurant is nothing short of incredible. Maxi and her family have been eating in Flushing since she moved from Hong Kong as a kid. It was always her and her mom's dream to open a restaurant one day. But when Maxi turned 28, her mom sadly passed away from cancer. But that wasn't gonna stop Maxi. She totally swapped careers to fulfill her and her mom's dream. Thus, Maxi's Noodle was born.
Today I have for you our fried BB wontons. This is the same filling as the wontons here in the soup, but I did add in a dry flounder powder.
Oh, yeah. The flounder powder is amazing. It's just so balanced.
And then we have the lo mein style, the dumpling, and the
I'm
zajang.
sorry, but flounder powder sounds weirdly weird. I mean, it probably tastes good, but I've never heard of that.
With the dugging noodles.
These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. I've never had these before.
These are actually the Hong Kong style alkaline noodles. Pretty much like the alkaline makes it like nice.
Imagine if he was like, "Oh my God, this is shit." Does she still have to follow him around if he did say that? Like, yeah.
And bouncy and stretchy.
I was gonna say there's almost like a crunch to the noodle in a way. Like there's like a really
Things become
strong
awkward.
shape. So nice. So good. The wonton skin is like so delicate, melts in your mouth, but you have this nice firm shrimp. I like it.
Literally dunk it in there.
Dunk it
For
in.
2 seconds. Yep, now eat it.
This is exactly the type of thing that I like to eat because it's like a multi-course menu in one meal.
And then over here we have the noodle soup style with the flat rice noodle, the beef stew, the wontons. These are actually the wontons that you had.
They put mine in there because they were like, hey, we're gonna throw these away. You guys should just eat them. This is what will put me to sleep. That's really nice.
Out of everything you're eating, what's your best dish?
These are one of the greatest noodles I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Yeah.
9.5. Maxi, this was excellent.
And a clear overall leader on the board.
Wow.
Maxi's doing it right with insane noodles and wontons. But will she hold the lead? We're not just gonna go easy on Maxi because she's our friend. So onward to a drink showdown.
Also, I keep noticing her hair is really weird. On one side, like when you see her from one side, it looks normal, but then there's like this weird triangle where it's on her, like, or wedge shape rather, on her, like, I guess her left side? Yeah, left side, which makes it look strange.
with Hey Tea, known for fruit drinks with
Cheese foam. That's... I love everything in this but the jelly.
Like as I said, from here, her hairstyle looks completely normal. As I said, like this just looks fine, like normal. But if I can find it, it's also that she's always on that side, almost all the time. Just if I can find it, like there was like one thing where it showed it. Like you can sort of see it here, like it's sort of almost sheer on that side, but
when Maxi turned 28, her mom sadly passed
like you see on this side too. Well, no, that's different. That's because she
away
did
from
that,
cancer. But that wasn't going to stop Maxi. She totally swapped careers to fulfill her and her mom.
Yeah, like you could sort of see it very briefly there. Like you see here, like on this side here, it's like really, like, almost like a buzz cut there. On that little part there, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it just looks a little, I would just say interesting. I'm not like, there, I just think it's an interesting thing. Although now that I'm pointing it out, I don't know. She could be doing it, you know, in memory of her mom because she passed from cancer. I don't know. Me pointing it out now makes me feel like a massive dick. It could not be, but even if it isn't for something like that, it's still her preference. It's her body. She does what she wants to. I don't care. It's just, like, you know, a little different. It just sort of was taken aback because it looked, you know, like a normal hairstyle, and then I saw that and I'm like, what? But yeah. Anyway, back to Hazy.
Showdown. Starting with Hey Tea, known for fruit drinks with
Cheese foam. That's... I love everything in this but the jelly.
Did you taste the cheese foam on top?
Oh, that's good. That was unexpected. But overall, flavor-wise, the sugar level's really good. The flavor's nice. It's really nice, intensely grape flavored. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10, but I don't like the jelly, so I'm gonna have to knock that down to a 7 out of 10. Still strong, but not my top contender. I think we have better to come.
Next up, Molly Tea, an incredibly high-end spot from China known for their premium jasmine milk tea.
This is by far my favorite because I'm obsessed with jasmine.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of different boba and milk tea shops, and none of them look like this. I feel like I'm walking past a Louis Vuitton. It's super balanced, it's not overly sweet, it's ultra fragrant. It's arguably the most jasmine tea flavored jasmine tea. Out of all the milk teas I've ever had in my life, this is easily it's another 9 out of 10. Like, I don't know what the hell's happening.
And finally, Jingfu Tang from Taiwan, known for their luxe brown sugar boba with actual real gold on top.
We got gold leaf on the boba before we got GTA 6. Explain that to me. The boba's still warm, you saw it in the wok, a golden wok. Really nice. If you've ever gone to a boba place, anywhere, typically you go, you get it, it's good, but it's really sweet. This is like sweet, salty.
What's with the unhappy face? Was that because of my comment on the hair, or is that from something he did? I don't know. Oh yeah, the gold. I don't know. I don't like putting edible gold on stuff. I just think it's sort of a waste. But you know, people do what they want. It's just like, don't expect me to be one of those people who'd be happy to pay extra money for, like, you know, just that little piece there.
Creamy, but not too sweet. It's got nice, even lines of flavor. Out of all the milk teas I've had, this is in the top 3, but I would give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. One of the best boba teas I've ever had, but out of all the teas we had today, I'm gonna give the crown to the jasmine milk tea. It was unbelievable. All right, it's check-in time. I feel like I've been brought back to life. Not just by this, but just by the vibe. There's nothing that can bring...
It doesn't actually add any flavor or supposedly detract any flavor. It's a purely aesthetic thing. It's just, I think, pointless. Or, well, you know, I don't... for me, I'd rather them not put it on and get to save money from that.
Bring me down.
The next lunch spot is one of the most anticipated locations. It is Cantonese barbecue. The location, corner 28. Listen, growing up as a kid, I lived for this stuff.
So here, I usually get the 3
Chinese
toppings,
barbecue.
the crispy pork, the roast pork, and the duck over rice. And make sure you get the ginger scallion sauce. This is like liquid gold.
If you've never had Chinese barbecue before, my one thing I would recommend is be careful of the bones. Because literally what they do is they'll just take the piece and it's like with their cleaver go chop, 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 and make those nice little, like, you know, even cuts. It's really good, just you have to make sure and be aware if there's a bone inside, or else you're going to potentially swallow the bone. And I can tell you that is not fun. Still, it's really good. You should definitely try it.
Gold to me.
That's ridiculous.
You don't even need anything else.
Wow. The ginger scallion, just as a heads up, this is basically ginger, green onion, oil, salt, I suppose. Makes you want to hit my head against the wall. The beauty in the simplicity of these flavors combined.
This you have to ask for. They only give you this if you order chicken.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. You gotta do the duck. This is a hit. This is the one that I'm like, I want to come back and eat every day. I don't know where we go from here. This like might be our highest rated one. I'm not even joking. For bang for the money, the diversity of choices you get to eat, I'm gonna give this 9.6. I don't even know if we've given a 9.6. It's so perfect. I don't even care. Like, I forgot where
So
I
it's 1 point better than hers. That's
am. They could have seated me in the bathroom and I would have been perfectly happy.
Our newest lead at a 9.6. Could we end up giving our first 10 out of 10 in the entire history of this channel? I guess we'll find out now that
well, I
we're
think you'd
moving
probably
on
go
to Shao.
9.7.
They're known
and
for
like, you know.
their crab roll and crab meat. I think they're the only place in New York that have this stuff.
Okay, so we're here with the owner, Homer, man himself. So should we crack into this? Crab flavor is so nice. It's oceanic, but the texture of the noodle, I mean, this is like a complete meal. And I love the addition of the wood ear for texture. Really, really nice. Next one.
So after they steam it, they also pan fry the
The wood ear is a type of mushroom. For those who actually know about that, I apologize for saying it.
bottom.
This has pork, so now you have some pork taste.
I love the diversity of flavor, texture. It had everything I wanted. Crispy, chewy. I'm gonna give it a 7. If you're like a crab fanatic,
This is a place for you.
this is the place for you. Everything was absolutely excellent. Thank you so much.
So welcome.
And to check in, I am feeling it. When I sat down in there, my body was basically like, it's time to stop eating. You've had enough.
Yeah,
No,
well,
seriously,
as
I'm
I
in
said,
please, dear God,
you
stop
should
me and
have-
go to the hospital. And my brain was like, goo goo gaga. Moving on.
It's time to fire things up, and that means Szechuan. Ironically, Maxie's actually anti-spice, so she invited her friend Caroline Shin, a Queens food-focused journalist who grew up in Flushing that lives for the spice. We linked up at New World Mall food court, and we're here for Lao Ma Mala Tang's Szechuan Mala Dry Pop.
Mala is that flavor that I'm addicted to, which is a combination of these spicy chili peppers with the numbing quality of the Szechuan peppercorn.
The fish is kind of calling me. It's honestly not that
It's
spicy.
really good. I
heard
love
too,
that
it's not
numbing
too spicy. I'm gonna
spice.
try it.
On my personal spice scale, I would give this a 5 out of 10 on the spiciness. It's not too hot at all. The fish is cooked really nicely. It has the exact amount of numbing spice that I like. It's not the type of spicy that bites your tongue off. It's warm. This is what Americanized Chinese food wishes it could be.
The market is like by the people for the people, so it's going to be at that palate level. So it is going to be super spicy, and it's not going to hold back because that's what the natural palate is. How are you doing, Maxie? Was it spicy for you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a good spice, but every bite with that,
If you if you eat something spicy, do not drink water. You are going to suffer or have a bad time.
I have to eat it with some rice.
I think if you're gonna get a Szechuan dish and it's gonna be mala focused, this is where it should be. All things considered, this is like a solid 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 in a food court is a 10 out of 10 anywhere else. And I'm especially happy with this food court. I have like a multitude of different options. Every single one of them have their own unique offering.
I
People are
forgot
really
about this, but I have heard of it.
technique. We're not gonna come to America and then change it. We're gonna come to America and do it the way it's supposed to be done. And one of the best quotes I ever heard from a chef that I worked for was, "We're not doing anything special here, we're just doing it the right way." And the mala just hit my throat. Oh my God. It's amazing. It's like another world down there. We're finally back out here, and I'm like, oh, right, we're in New York. Totally forgot. It's like I was
So remember to get the mala at the mall. Wow. That was lame. Good moving on.
transported back, and I'm ready for more.
And Cantonese Barbecue wins lunch with the highest score I have ever given. I really think we might be giving our first 10 here. And what better way to do that than with Michelin-level Szechuan food? Hopefully Maxie survives the heat, because we might be looking at a new meal.
Oh God, that
So
soup
we're at
is going to
Szechuan
kill.
Mountain House. It is one of the New York Times 100 best restaurants, which I think is actually just a testament to like how mainstream.
Yeah, that soup right there. I think that one would kill most of the. Would kill the greater part of Great Britain or the United Kingdom. Like, that is a ton of peppers and a ton of like peppercorns. That would. Now this dish here, the one that's in the middle, it looks like a dish that's at another Chinese place I really like to go to. That one did not shut down. It's still opening and it's doing really well. And they call it popcorn chicken at that place, which, you know, it's obviously not, but it's really, really good. It's really nice. It has the numbing peppers and it has, like, you know, the regular peppers, and it's just really pleasant. Just don't chew on the peppers. As I mentioned, they are numbing. They are cooked with like a numbing effect, and also with like with like numbing peppercorns, and also, you know, like the spicy. So you'll simultaneously have, if you chew on those peppers alone, like a numbing sensation in your mouth, and it'll also be hot and spicy. So you'll be partially numb, and what part you can feel will be burning. That's why you do not eat the peppers on their own. Also, because they've been fried, they become like paper. So the texture of the peppers are not great on their own. but the chicken is outstanding.
Popular it's become.
And then they have a Bib Gourmand, is that right?
Yeah.
Amazing. It's Michelin level food right here. So they're like, this is gonna be really spicy. I'm like, how spicy? Look at this. An uncountable amount of peppers. We'll start here, then we'll work our way up to here, the ultra numbing, and then we'll work our way up here, what could be the most spicy dish here. We have the chicken. This is supposed to be the lower end.
All right, here goes nothing.
Oh yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad.
Especially compared to what we just had.
Okay.
So we have the mala boiled beef. Cheers. Fragrance of the peppercorn really comes through on this one.
Is it spicier than that?
No.
No?
Do you feel that like numbing sensation?
Oh yeah, I love it. My mouth is vibrating.
Yes.
I'm over here having fun. Maxie's fighting for her life.
But the next dish might just have me fighting for my life too.
Oh, I just got a little vibration in my upper lip. We have 3 incredible dishes, all unmatched flavor. I was almost gonna say the chicken was my favorite until I tried the fish, and immediately this took first place for me by far. So flavorful. It's got umami, it's salty, it's balanced. There's spice in there.
I
but
love
first and
Szechuan
foremost, there's the
cuisine,
beautiful
although I
flavor
haven't
of
had
chili,
much of it.
which most people never enjoy because they're too scared of the spice. But this isn't too spicy.
This was really scary to me. It looks overwhelming, but once you try it, it's actually really good.
The greatest things are behind a wall of fear. One of the best fish soup stews of all time. This is an 8.5 out of 10. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
This is crazy. These back-to-back mala meals have my entire face numb, my tongue's tingling. It's like I'm entering
was gonna
some
think it was
sort of
another
acid
9 with the
trip
way he was
Szechuan
going.
fever dream, and I'm floating through Flushing as we land at the Michelin Bib Gourmand rated Jiangnan, where they serve Maxie's most favorite Peking duck she's ever had.
When we entered this space, immediately my first thought was this place has aura. And by that I mean when we walk out of here, we're gonna walk out with at least plus 100 aura. People are gonna be like, where did you get that aura from? Like, dude, down the road.
The Peking duck, usually, they would serve you in the steam bun. Why this is so special, to me at least, is because I grew up eating Peking duck with this thin crepe. It's like a face mask. I always start with, obviously, a piece of duck, a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of the chives, and then a little bit of that hoisin sauce.
All right, we're going in. The process of Peking duck is incredibly difficult. And one of the crucial elements of Peking duck, how much you render the skin. This is right smack dab where it should be.
They are Michelin recommended, as they should be, because this is obviously clearly amazing.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to pick this apart and figure out what's not excellent about it.
Absolutely
And there's nothing.
Are you crazy?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Yeah. You should stop giving me such good places. And the only reason it's not getting a 10 is because I haven't had every Peking duck in the world.
Fair enough.
I never will. That's how close this is to being perfect.
Peking duck leads dinner almost surpasses the barbecue from lunch, but now it's midnight, we're getting tired, but we have to keep going because I was told Wagyu is next, except we sort of accidentally walked into a wedding, and oh, just kidding actually, Wagyu is also here. That's a good combo.
Pretty much here, it's all you can eat, and there is like a set menu. You're getting the works here.
It's funny, they're like, oh, it's all you can eat, and I'm like, what happens if I can't eat?
So it's midnight, I'm expecting Wagyu, but we are confronted
So
with a
going to-
plus course omakase.
Where is the Wagyu?
And finally, it arrived in one of the most beautiful presentations I can imagine.
This is a normal portion, and it's all you can eat.
So how was it? Incredible. I mean, it's A5 Wagyu. What do you expect?
how much
But
does it
what
cost?
really blew me away was the Szechuan mala spice blend that you dip your A5 in after you cook it.
All
Oh
you
my
can
God,
eat,
amazing.
what,
The
like,
smallest spice literally makes it.
like
If I
Michelin
Wagyu,
rated
generally
place?
speaking, don't want to overpower the flavor too much. It's a pretty big no-no, but be the first time I ever make an exception for that, because this is exceptional. All it does is add salt, add a little bit of umami, add some mala heat behind it, but it's not overwhelming it. I'm gonna give it a 9. But you don't need A5 to win. So if A5 isn't gonna win this, what is?
16 hours and 40 dishes in. Maybe my body can handle more, but can my mind?
It's funny, isn't it? Like,
Even though I don't think you're gonna.
I'm gonna skip it a little
ton
bit.
of food.
I'm in too deep to stop now. And so I find myself at Nansheng for soup dumplings, one of my favorite foods ever. And supposedly theirs are one of the most famous in all of Flushing, maybe even all of New York.
this is like the Skittles of soup dumplings. Multiple flavors. We have the truffle. Truffle's really
The
nice.
Power Rangers of
The
soup
most
dumplings.
Beautiful soup dumpling with them, that unctuous, earthy, funky truffle. Really nice. Next, let's do chicken. Veggie.
Scallop, pork with the.
I'm
crab.
surprised he hasn't popped
First
an
of all,
ad
each and
in.
every one of these are incredibly good. People would probably vote on this based off of their preference. Chef Maxie loves the crab one. I can see why. Every single one of these are a minimum 7.5 out of 10. That's just like baseline. The highest one, on the other hand, is a 9 out of 10. There was another one that was an 8.7. One was the truffle, and one was the vegetable. Truffle was the 9. Absolutely excellent. We got to get moving.
Nansheng lived up to the hype, but not enough to dethrone barbecue. But maybe our first and only street food that we're gonna be having can.
So I can't let you leave Flushing without taking you to the OG street food vendor, meat on a stick cart, that's been here for more than 10 years. All of their stuff is pretty much like average $2.
Really
So we
like
have chicken
this,
grilled with a mala
the
spice.
skewers.
Smells smoky. Close your eyes. It's tender, it's juicy. It's really solid bite. I like it a lot. Final rating, 7 out of 10. Now we go to our final place. This is the moment where we're gonna find out who's our winner.
It's 2 a.m., 17 hours of eating, and our final spot has me wondering if I'm still even on Earth. Hai Lao Hot Pot, China's biggest hot pot chain, known for their otherworldly customer service. Not just humans, robots too. And we had an empty seat at our table, and they were nice enough to bring us a friend, who scared me slightly. But with this being our final location, will this food surpass the experience and bring us our ultimate champion? First, we choose our broth.
I am not a fan of hot pot.
I'm hyped.
Next, we
Sorry.
choose our ingredients. And finally, we make our
Well, it's nothing special in my opinion.
dipping sauces.
You dip, you dunk.
And you eat.
Using extra long chopsticks, we cook for ourselves and each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
But then suddenly, someone walked in. Who, you might ask? I literally don't know. I don't even realize if I'm smiling, clapping. The food was no longer a meal, it was a show. And there's no place on earth with customer service like this. But with food that's still this incredible, and after the experience of a lifetime, I now have my hardest decision of the day.
Probably the best fish soup I've ever had in my entire life. This is a hit. That's how close this is to being perfect. These are the best rice rolls I've ever had in my life. These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. I've never had these before.
40 plus dishes, a full stomach, a blown out palate comes down to this moment, and I'm finally ready to give my final score and announce our winner.
After everything we went through, this is a 9, which means
Coming in with the highest score I have ever given, a 9.6, our overall winning restaurant is Corner 28 with their Cantonese barbecue platter and ginger scallion sauce. It was just proper technique in a simple, uncomplicated setting. And to me, something like that special screams the beauty of Chinatown, and it is a never-ending adventure. And the food is only special because of the people who do it and the dedication to their craft. So go to your local Chinatown, explore, use this video as reference, grab some friends, eat everything, because you'll be supporting an amazing community that deserves it. And a special, tremendous thank you to the chef who changed my life forever, Maxi Lau. Check out our food if you're ever in Flushing. Thanks for watching. Love you so much. Subscribe.
I forgot. I've seen that before. I've never been to that restaurant, but I've watched videos of people doing something similar before. So normally I might try to do a little bit more, but there's I remember there's something I'd like to do before I actually have to leave for work, since I'm going to have to leave soon anyways. Wait, is my mouse mouth? Okay, my mouse mouth is moving. Alright, well, I don't know if I'm going to stream later today because I am going to have dinner with my parents, and also after work I'll be tired, so I might be tired and full. But anyways, I'll thank you very much, person, for coming by. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Alright, bye-bye.